Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my favorite time of the year. Hey there, and happy holidays, you guys. I'm so excited because with it being the Christmas holiday season, I've decided to put out 3 movie reviews of holiday movies that I want to recommend for you guys to go check out during the holiday season. Ones that they haven't come out this year, but they came out in the past, and I think they're good enough that you guys should go take a look at it. And today, we're going to start those reviews off. While You Were Sleeping was released in 1995 and was directed by Jon Turteltaub and stars Sandra Bullock and Bill Pullman. In here, a girl works at a train station played by Sandra Bullock who's trying to find true love and has a crush on a man that she's never had an actual conversation with but comes by every day, rescues him from train tracks after he's mugged. But when she has to pretend to her family that they were engaged all along to keep from breaking their hearts, she ends up finding herself during the holiday season falling for his brother. While You Were Sleeping, I first found through my mom. She brought it home on a VHS and watched it. I heard her laugh from her bedroom the entire time, and the next day she brought it out and said, "You guys watch it." She made popcorn, watched together, and since then this has been one of my favorite holiday movies ever made. In here, Sandra Bullock gives one of her most funniest performances ever. Sandra Bullock is just one of those actresses that's so versatile, but she is a fantastic physical comedian. In the sense that while she's delivering the lines with some of the best finesse possible for her dialogue, like her delivery is on point, her timing is great, the way she says her lines, her physical way she moves and contorts her face is fantastic. And this is her in that young part of her career where she was on top tier performance for that. And she's never lost that touch. Here, it's completely done right. And her character in here of Lucy is just this very relatable person. She works in Chicago at a train station and she's having to work the holidays, which no one wants to do. And she doesn't have family, but she finds this family in a weird sort of way. And now she feels like she has them and she doesn't want to lose them. And the best part about this movie, I think, is not just that the script is so well written and that's such a natural plot, it's the relatability and the realisticness. Because this movie is not so much comedic because of over-the-top jokes. This movie is funny because of how realistic this family is. This family acts exactly the way your family does at Christmas time. And all year round, they all have quirks, and they all have little things about them. And the way they talk, the jokes in here come from things that we have experienced in real life. Like trying to move a couch into a room. Things like that, where it's just like, okay, there are kind of crazy things that take place. Like, there's this one character in here, which is the guy named Peter, who she's, kind of this crush on before she met his brother. His old fiance shows up, and she is hilarious. She has some of the best lines in here, and she plays it as over the top as she possibly could, and I love her for that. Bill Pullman here is also absolutely charming. He has turned on the peak performance of his rom-com era, and his and Sandra Bullock's chemistry is fantastic. This movie is a very warm family movie with a great feel to it. I love watching this movie. It makes me happy inside, and the soundtrack in here is also very pretty. It's that 90s kind of rom-com soundtrack that I love so much with that sound of Christmas to it. And I just genuinely enjoy myself with this movie. This movie makes me want to sit down on the couch and have a great time. The direction here is fantastic, and everyone in here has been cast perfectly. This movie also has some of the greatest lines ever. Like, there's this part of the movie where Sandra Bullock's character is trying to tell her boss about, I want to come out and tell them, but, the grandmother, in here has a heart problem. She doesn't want to crush him. They have this brilliant conversation where it's like, well, then who's to know? Now, Lucy, listen. When I told my mom that me and my wife were getting married, her intestines exploded. Now, you tell them now, you might as well shoot Grandma. It's dialogue like that just makes this movie, it's so funny, and I love it because it still feels pretty real. Like, as I didn't necessarily properly explain earlier, in here, the guy who she has a crush on ends up in a coma, so he wakes up, and of course, he realizes, this isn't my fiance, and I'm not going to spoil what happens after that, because that all you are going to have to see on your own and enjoy, because I'm going to recommend this movie for you guys to go out and see. It's online, you can stream it, you can borrow it from the library, wherever you want to watch it. It's an absolute blast, and it's a film that I like to visit, even when it's not holiday season, because I like it that much. I'm actually planning on buying it because I love that movie, and it's one of those movies that hits every beat perfectly. for the comedy, the romance, the drama, everything. One last thing, Joe Jr., the land tenant where she lives' son. Watch out for him. He's one of my favorite characters also in this movie. So, without further ado, let's rate While You Were Sleeping. I'm going to give While You Were Sleeping an 8 out of 10. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you all next time, and happy holidays.